All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for your patience as we get ready to get into game number 2. Edward Gaming coming up with a win in the way that they do it best over LGD in our playoffs, the opening day of our playoffs. Froskerin, what does LGD need to do? Clearly, the Sandra mid was not the answer.
You have to think. Effectively, they brought a Zhonya's Hourglass to it was like an immortal composition, like kill us 3 times.
Only if you could get the ult off, and there's the man on your screen who didn't let them do that. The 4,000 elo shockwave.
Against a team fighting comp, like the fact that EDG has this reputation that no one team fights as well as they do, and then you brought like all these revives and make us immortal. Like the only thing they were missing was Zac and Aatrox, and they still couldn't survive the team fight. Is pretty concerning, especially coming in, you know, straight off the punch for this first game.
Yeah, that was playing right into the strategy, as you mentioned. So LGD might look to mix things up. They are, you know, more of a tactical team than a lot of others in the LPL, and their support player, the shot calling from the support, both these teams have it. FCZF, however, he's been more renowned in the past for his mechanics. I think you go back to, I don't know, during the spring split, I want to say, a lot of people called him like one of the best supports in the LPL. But PWL's always been there. He's the consistent factor. He's kind of the rock that LGD leans on.
I really respect both these supports. I think they're both 2 of the higher caliber of supports in the LPL. The fact that they also fill that shot caller role cannot be understated. Again, I feel like the main issue that game was that LGD just wasn't on the same page in executing their composition, and we'll see if maybe they go for something a little bit more versatile. Because when you have a composition like that, you're effectively kind of forced into one type of route. I mean, they had, you know, the option of going the split push Hurricane Kale. It's either that or team fight. They didn't find the split push, so they were looking for a team fight, and they just fell behind too quickly. So we'll see if they maybe stagger their power spikes a little bit better this game, you know, pick up an AD carry that possibly scales better, see if they can transition more of that power to XQ.
Well, and while their comp sort of floundered a little bit, especially in the later stages of the game, I was really impressed, especially by the effectiveness of the Annie pickup on FCZF. Again, they didn't have to hit many, but 1 Tibbers was the difference in that game. Off that, they were able to turn it into a massive lead that snowballed the game. And FCZF, even after all this time, full of surprises.
I was just that first Baron, though, just looking back on it. I wanted to pull up the Spectral Wraith just to kind of see it, and the reason that they were able to Baron so quickly is because they had 2 jungle items, as well as the Elise, who does too, like the percentile damage. So that was, and then you have the Kale attack speed on top of that. So that was pretty crazy and a very unique thing to see from the comp. Unfortunately, didn't save them in that game. But speaking more to the Annie support pick, I mean, it's fallen out of favor. We haven't seen a lot of it, but you have to think, again, this is the region that started it, and the reason being is because they like to put their engage tools, and FCZF has always been incredibly strong at choosing when to pick fights and saying we're going to fight now. And so if you give all of that power to him, like this is the Tibbers, I'm going to drop this, and when I drop this we go, it makes perfect sense that they would find a lot of success on that champion versus you know, something like Nami.
Well, and they kind of funneled all in. LGD went for the collapse onto Clearlove, and he baited it so well. I mean, that was the most crisp bait and switch that I've ever seen, and the fact that they didn't lose Clearlove in the entire engagement was the icing on the cake. I mean, that's one for the highlight reels.
The fact that they won that initial team fight, losing Name straight off the bat, like he effectively got kicked back into the team and then had to Valkyrie across into a Lissandra ult and just got deleted, and the fact that you didn't hit the shockwave on anyone other than Kale, but they still came out vastly ahead, was pretty much the most telling moment of that game and how it would continue from there on out. And the man of the hour, you.
Yeah, I mean, they call him unstoppable for a reason. It's not just a clever name. This guy, he does quite a lot of things. Roaming isn't one of them, but of course, there's his opponent in the mid. Way Less has been a pretty big force to be reckoned with, but it didn't quite pan out this time, so we'll see what they do. Going into the game, LGD this time on the blue side, Edward Gaming on the red. The first picks and bans going on the board. What do they get rid of this time?
I don't think that they'll let Orianna through to you. I think Wayless is going to prioritize that. I think you're right about it. There is that Ziggs.
Oh, wow, they both banned.
Oh, that's smart. Okay, so Ari's still available for Wayless. Could go the Yasuo route. Alistair being banned away.
No, you could play Ari too. We know he's been practicing it, but he's yet to play it in the LPL.
Yasuo taken away.
Yep, focusing a lot. Also, the cow is out of the picture right now, and that's more likely a top ban than a support.
Maokai should be banned.
I think
here
so.
from
Braum
EDG
banned, though.
following out.
They could. That will leave a number of interesting picks out, and it is Maokai. You called it. That does leave Thresh for PYL, and we used to say he was sort of dependent on that champion. Clearly not the case, but yeah, you have to do the Lee Sin takeaway at that point, and it's no Clear Love special, or maybe you don't. Okay.
Is that illusion? No. He's gonna go back to Elise.
I think so. He could do the takeaway though. They weren't really worried about Chuen's Lee Sin though last time.
Exactly. That's the whole aspect of it, is the fact that Chuen got his best champion, and it didn't really matter in the end. So there's no real threat of focusing that ban anymore. He might turn and try to look for Jarvan.
Hello.
Classic favorite of Clear Love.
I like that. Yeah, he definitely has had some of the most success on stealth-based champions, and this is kind of his style. Let's go counter jungle.
Eve is a big pickup for him. Again, it reflects back to the fact that Clear Love jungled under Messiah. Messiah, a known Twisted Fate player, applies map pressure for him. Clear Love isn't the best at applying map pressure. He's better at counter ganking than he is initiating those ganks for himself, although saw a little bit of that pickup last split. See if that'll continue. So a champion like Eve that literally just exhibits global presence by just existing in the game is, of course, going to be a fond pickup for a jungler that doesn't like to gank.
Speaking of junglers, they will go for the Lee Sin. They were thinking about Jarvan for a minute, and I like this takeaway with the Corki on Wayless, but hello, if he was playing with my heart right now.
His Jinx is amazing if he picks it up.
He's thinking about it, but I don't know.
Severe would be fun.
Be a bit different. There is Tristan available, who had some nerfs.
Still very, very strong. Name hasn't played a ton of her. He's been more kind of riding the Kog'Maw hyper train.
That is the definite best way to describe it. But with the takeaway from Corki, this leaves a couple of options. Oh, he goes for the Lucian pickup, so he's falling back into that habit, which I think is a bit questionable, to be honest.
Okay, again, I will run the statistic. Hopefully this gets translated, it gets back to China. Since the change of LPL from 4.11 to 4.13, Lucian has been played 8 times. Out of the 8 times that Lucian has been played, he has only won 1 game. This is on Wei Xiao, this is on Name, this is on Kid, this is on San, and XQ. And yes, XQ is the only player since Lucian has been changed that has taken a victory on him.
Now playing a little bit with the lock-ins. Oh wow, Wayless really wants this Lissandra pick. He goes back to it, and 17 is going to be on Jax.
Well, to be frankly honest, I don't think the Lissandra pick was really the issue there, and I think it actually added a lot of.
It gives them a lot of all-in potential, and so does the Jax. By the way, that's kind of a comfort pick for 17. That was kind of one of his main styling champions for a while.
See if FCZF goes Morgana or if he's going to go Leona. It would give them a nice form of disengage if they decided to go Morgana.
Yeah,
but the hard engage would synergize really well with the Evelyn ult.
Okay, I was going to say you don't want to pick that into a Thresh because you're just going to get flayed out of any Zenith Blade you try, but, well, I suppose in a greater team fighting sense, what EDG is known for, they do that. So we will see Zilean mid this time for you.
Well, the issue for LGD's composition right now is if you just look at Evelyn ult stacking with Solar Flare, they have nothing to get away from that. They are self-sufficient built in, so you have effectively, Valkyrie, Claw, Safeguard, and Leap. But other than that, there's no cask, there's no tidal wave. I guess you could place a box, but typically Eve's gonna flank anyway, and Leona's going to proc the ultimate from afar. So it's not like the box can slow the initial collapsing on you. But that's a pretty scary aspect of LGD's composition, that they overlooked something like that.
LGD has mixed this up a little bit though, and I think they've built in a little bit better late game. potential into their comp. If they do play into the same strategy, it shouldn't hurt them as hard. However, you never know. There is always that crutch. And the fact that they weren't feeling confident enough to put Chuen on anything but Lee Sin again speaks volumes to that. EDG have to be confident going into this game, regardless of the picks and bans, though.
See how they deal with their power spikes. Again, they did balance that up, like you were saying, taking the Jax, having the Corki available to them. So they have the mid-game power spike, they have the late-game power spike. It's now, can they get this to work together for them?
Well, they're certainly going to need to. If they do lose another game, it will be down to the wire, but let's see what happens as we load up into Summoner's Rift for our second match of the LPL Summer Playoffs. EDG versus LGD Gaming. Here we go. Onto the Rift.
I feel like the vision in general from the first game, night and day from what we saw in the split.
Oh yeah, they've really improved in China.
Other than protecting their pink wards, I think they did a very nice job at least, you know, recognizing and thinking about the vision game. But we do have a bit of an invade. See if they actually go through with it. Nah, never mind. We're fine, guys.
That was a lot of effort just to get warded out. I'll go back to line of scrimmage. Oh. For a second, I thought we might see a lane swap. PYL was all alone in that bot lane transfer.
Well, Name and FCZF are definitely looking for the 2v2 simply because unless it's going to be a Roam Leona. Which, if you think back what they did the previous game, they left Name alone in a lane, and FCZF actually dueled with the with Koro.
The funny thing about that bot lane is it kind of looks like, as XQ dances around, it kind of looks like a World Elite bot lane, especially if they do go for the roaming Leona strat. That's, I mean, that's typical Wei Xiao Conan behavior right there.
It is very much, and it looks like they are going to initiate the lane swap, so prioritizing solo farm and EXP for Name. Not wanting to face off against PYL's Thresh or the Corki Poke.
Curious choice.
Well, you said it yourself that Leona doesn't necessarily fare very well in the Thresh matchup, especially against PYL. His champion is Thresh.
Yeah, it's hard to give that to him, but they definitely made the call on that. Whoa, way less. Gonna get a bomb on his head. Now, I like this mid lane matchup a little bit better for you now, because he just has so much annoying harass potential.
He also has a lot of safety, and in later levels he'll be able to keep Wayless locked down.
Which is exactly what EDG wants to do. Don't let the man roam.
Countering the Lissandra immortality with their own immortal composition this time around. It's, hey guys, we'll take that away from you. We'll show you how it's done. Pick up the Zillion and the Kale.
See if they go for it. Yeah, curious how everything kind of swapped around. Now, speaking of Kale, a bit of a jungle buddy system going in. Yeah, and actually this is, you know, this is something that we've seen when teams are not sure what to do about the lane swap because they know they're going to get denied so much experience anyway, so it forces into this situation. And I don't really know if this favors Chuen or Clear. I think it favors Clear Love a little bit better, actually.
Clear Love likes this because it's harder to gank and it's less pressure exerted on the map, so he gets to just farm a little bit more. I'm more so kind of looking at the push. Typically, when you transition a lane swap, although they are kicking FCZF out of the lane, in the top lane, you have to pressure into the tower because you have to be under the constant threat that the dragon is going to happen. You need to be in position to trade a global objective tower for the global objective of the dragon gold. But in this case, Nami is actually freezing the lane and trying to deny Jax as much as possible. But there we go. In return, he's going to actually.
Oh, they thought about it, but now they just... Okay,
well,
now
it's
they just
a
want to
really
make
nice
sure there's no
ward from EDG right there on the very back of the pit, so it won't be swept should there be an early sweeper, which there's not. But they at least know that this is going down, and Clear Love is actually in position to walk up to this.
This is more what we're used to seeing from the early stages of the split. That 2v0 giving up the control. I mean, this is a 5-man. There's no way it's going to get contested. They're doing a brilliant job juggling the aggro, too. It goes down.
Well, this is a big issue. Is that, again, Name wasn't in position to trade the global objective, so they effectively just gave, you know, a bunch of free gold to LGD.
Well, they gave away the first dragon last time, too. Still managed to work out well for them. Excuse me, they gave it away. And that was mostly due to the lane swap situation, however, under very different circumstances. Now, XQ didn't need to get involved. They gave away the timer regardless, but they probably could have even left him in lane for a little while during all that.
See what EDG does in response to this.
Yeah, XQ and PYL kind of have it made, because FCZF's not going to want to go in on this just because Koro's early damage will not be as highly prioritized. However, this gimps the Jax quite a lot. He's still going to be a late game monster, but you have to wait a little later.
If you're going to gimp a lane, though, I wouldn't think that it would be 17 out of all of these superstars on LGD.
You want way less to be in trouble. Now, Clearlove is making a move up to the top. Name showing some force, but 17 playing this out extremely cautious. He doesn't want to deal with the Lucian either.
He's trying to bait 17 to jump on him.
Oh, here we go. That's the hate
back.
spikes, and he's going to get the hop over and the counter strike. They're going to back away from him. We'll force him out of lane. And wow, oh my goodness, down in the bot, Xuan trying to make some action of his own, but FCZF too tanky. And 2 ganks denied.
POL expended both of his summoners, though. His exhaust and his flash right there to try to make that gank happen, and brute force, unfortunately. Couldn't connect.
Now way less to be in trouble as well. Clearlove is actually doing a lot of ganking. Oh, the flash! You hits the tower in the face. The bomb will cancel the back. And they force him out of lane. So it's actually Clearlove providing more lane control, which is not something we have seen of him until recently.
Now making his way back up into the top lane.
Just
so didn't find his exactly. It's
I didn't realize after I said it was a rotation. I was like, oh, I did that, didn't I?
But more importantly, I also want to, talking about that gank on mid lane, the reason why he was so aggressive with that tower is immediately he recognized that Zilean is level 6, so it's time to use that chrono shift. It's time to look for a tower dive. Obviously, it didn't pan out right there, but that was more so to Wayless paying attention. And you kind of telegraphing himself with an early flash right there, but that mentality of, okay, what is this champion good at? Where is my power spike? It's at level 6. What does this allow me to do? Tower dive. What are we going to set up? Immediately tower dive. So very different in styles and just how that champion's been used from set to set.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's kind of night and day with all of that. Now, again, EDG is playing the game exactly the way they want to. Despite giving up that dragon, they're still not very far behind in gold, as it was a very early one. They haven't given up any deaths or towers as well. And they love playing this controlled laning phase.
You collecting his minions right there. And you're absolutely right. Again, this is falling back into EDG's habits. They aren't a hyper-aggressive Chinese team early. They don't like to make a lot of early plays. They're very... We talk about how LGD is very methodical. EDG is very controlled and patient. It's all about the lane phase for them.
Yeah, and LGD does have a better later game comp, as we mentioned. Now 17 looking to make some action on Akora, but he tanks the tower shot. The level differential is huge. The farm differential is huge. There's no reason to do that.
Poor Jackson, of course, the lane swap going in because
why not?
Well, the dragon will be coming up sooner.
Yeah, they'll want to be able
and
to
they want to start shifting control down into that bottom side of the map.
Speaking of control, Name getting a lot of free push on this tower right now, actually. LGD is very slow to respond to these moves from Edward Gaming.
FCZF taking his time, following back up to that KL top lane. I'd like to see him gank with Clearlove here, actually, and really... Well, they have to recognize that Wayless's flash is down. Of course, it's still very hard to gank Lissandra on such a short lane like the mid lane. But, between Solar Flare, Chrono Shift, and Evelyn ult, I think they would get something to happen. Although they are making their way up top to dive that poor little level 4.
They have not given 17 any level of breaks right now.
He doesn't have any wards. He doesn't know this is coming.
There's the Solar Flare. Oh my goodness, Zenith Blade on in, and hello, goodbye, First Blood. Going over to Clearlove as they get the 3-man collapse now. Dragon's still a minute and a half away, so really good timing from EDG. There's not going to be a response. Xuan's trying to find one, but Name is playing incredibly safe. They could try to dive this out.
I think PYL just telegraphed it.
Oh boy, yep, totally obvious. And Name, we've said it before and we'll say it again, he's the guy that doesn't get caught. You can't touch him.
He's very good at positioning himself. Of course, when he gets kicked into Lissandra's and then Valkyries in front of teams.
Well, that's exception. Everybody makes mistakes, Frost.
No mistakes ever.
They're never allowed. Well, not against the Korean teams. I mean, they've definitely got to up that for Worlds.
Dragon going to spawn in 48 seconds. We did see a little bit of a roam from you, just kind of wandering through the river, taking a nice little stroll, stretching its legs.
Yeah, there's no warding, actually, except for that pink on the pit for LGD right now. However, Edward Gaming is confident they can do this. They have more people in the area. I think they can go in for a clear in the next 10 seconds and then get ready to do it. Koro doesn't have teleport yet, so they may want to stall this out because 17's is up.
Koro's teleport will time very
nicely. Oh, wow, they're going to go for this fight. Flay back a little bit too late for PYL. However, here comes Chuen, and Clearlove is locked up on a hook. There's a teleport coming in from 17. This is a problem right now. They're focusing on Chuen, but they're low. Clearlove, FCZF taking most of the damage. They try to go in, but that's a Jax, and he is going to get just barely zoned away. FCZF, I don't know how he survived that, but now it is you getting hooked in. It's a 4v4, but Edward Gaming, not sure if they want to tank this. That was a perfect disengaged Solar Flare from FCZF, and this evens the fight. Or does it? Way less! Wow, Name going down! And now the Dragon could be taken by LGD, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Abuse of the teleport, keeping track of Koro's cooldown right there, knowing that they could get 17 and find the numbers advantage. A great roam from both mid laners. Unfortunately, I feel like EDG was kind of on a different page. He was running in like engage, engage, engage. I have Chrono Shift. They completely back off. Wayless finds the much cleaner engagement, immediately pops one of EDG's members and gives them a free dragon.
And that punishes the mistiming on the teleport. Just a tiny little bit early, and LGD played that out perfectly with the collapse in their favor. So they get another dragon. They get a 1-for-1 kill trade. It could have been a lot more. But who they got it onto? Name, again, he's the guy that doesn't die, and they killed him.
Popped him like a balloon.
Yeah, that is why you take Lissandra, apparently.
You know, still not a super sizable gold lead in their favor, about 1,000. It's pretty centralized as well. Mostly in Wayless, entirely in Wayless.
Well, and he's, of course, used it to get the Spectral so he can clear out those jungle camps even quicker. Wayless has popularized this strategy, not just for himself, but for a lot of mid laners in the LPL of the last couple of weeks, actually. And it does speak to their innovative level. We used to talk about OMG being those guys that drove strategy in the LPL. That's changing. I love to see it evolve. They're growing up, Frosk.
I think we saw this happen in North America, though. Ziggs built a Spectral.
Yeah, it's okay. So maybe they didn't do it first. Give them a little bit of credit,
it's making its resurgence right here, and they've used it very creatively, at least how they've been burning down these dragons. But now, top lane, Chuen.
Instant flash away, and Koro doing what he does best, dodging out all the things. That's a very early boots, too.
Yeah, actually. Taking the battle stats and the movement speed for how many times the lane swaps have come around.
Wow. Man, Yu is dropping bombs for real. He doesn't even hardly have any AP, and he's dishing that much to Wayless.
Said Wayless is starting to create a sizable CS lead, and that's only going to get worse. Effectively, every single time this Wraith camp is open, he's going to claw over and just start picking that apart. FCZF now.
Okay. So Yu is kind of misplaying this right now. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to get his Chrono Shift on, and they will not go for him. Way too smart. FCZF going in to try and make a fight of this one, but Wayless is there as well. Name getting locked up for just a second. However, they will find the fight. Turnaround. Koro with the teleport in manages to get himself a kill. They are all blinking. Clearlove, invincible, but it's going to be Yu getting the kill. Can Chuen answer back? They're also low. He gets 2. Can he get 3? No, he can't. That's going to be shutdown gold, but they get themselves a 3-for-2 trade, maybe more. PYL, he's going down. That's going to be a 4-for-2 trade for Edward Gaming, and now 17. Can he make something of this? Can he answer with a tower in the top? Come on, poke away, Jax.
Of really important things here. First and foremost, Yu was able to make that maneuver in that pinch. There was a little bit of miscommunication. I don't know if EDG, they don't play a lot of Zilean mid. Again, it was mostly Zatai that kind of brought that out. They looked a little uncomfortable playing with it, but making a pinch maneuver like that is only possible because you have the Chrono Shift and you're able to kind of create this superficial tank and target for the team. As soon as EDG kind of figured out this is what Yu wants, he wants to be target, he wants to be the focus because he has that revive collapse. Started to, clean up the aspect of the fight, although it was a little bit too late at that point.
Let's take a look at it again. So FCZF kind of started that. Then Yu goes in, and yeah, they realized they could take it. But this seemed to be really sloppy on the part of LGD. They go in for Name, but it's really just way less. Look at that.
Well, a lot of it, again, is that superficial tankiness and the time that ultimate is able to draw out. What I really want to talk about also is great use of Koro's teleport again. Not
amazing was it for them to stay alive with that low health bars to most of that.
But look at Clearlove. He mirrors and he walks in front because he knows that Chwin's looking for the side Sonic Wave to pick up the triple kill. And for Clearlove, again, Clearlove's not a jungler. He's like the 5th man as far as team fighting. His team fighting presence is so good. To walk alongside and to completely deny that for Name to clean up that kill on Lee Sin was pretty much what evened that out. Had Chwin got that, it wouldn't have been worth. And I believe they trade globally a tower for nothing. That's the other big thing, is EDG just took a big fight, but effectively it didn't mean anything.
Speaking of even trades too, that gold is almost bang even right now, with EDG in a slight couple kill lead to compensate for the dragon pair that they've given up.
And also the tower, again, they just took, what, 4 kills for a tower, and it's pretty much even across the board still, and that's the big issue. You just fought over effectively nothing.
Yeah, but I'll be darned if it didn't look cool. I mean, those guys know how to make a fight stylish, but speaking of towers, another one falling. Koro managing to poke down the bot. LGD looking for this mid lane, but it's protected right now by UNF, CZF, and Clearlove is looking for a flank. It will be a 3v3 if they do that. Name motioning to move up here. However, Chuan has joined the fight.
It's going to walk through a lot of wards. Very dangerous area.
And the jungle, too. Look at LGD's jungle right now. It's littered in wards from both teams. It's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Wanting to control.
Ooh, Kale versus Jax. Let's go. Mortal Kombat. Okay, 17 backs away. No thank you.
That said, both teleports have been staggered for a while, but hold on a second.
They might go into this one. Oh, they do get the Sonic Wave connecting, and he's going to go in on that. Gets the kick back. Koro is in trouble, but so is 17. Clearlove says, I will take you down, and he does. Koro does still have no ultimate available. Goodbye. He is going down. However, they are turning this fight around. EDG going in for a reason. Chuan is down. Way less. He's making something happen, but they get the chrono shift off on Clearlove. It is only so far losing Koro in this fight, and they take down 3. LGD does not have the same team fighting presence, especially not with XQ, and they're going to lose themselves another tower.
The difference in team fighting and how EDG is utilizing the revival ultimates compared to LGD in the first split is pretty much night and day. The collapse that's coming from them and the communication to orchestrate that collapse, they're effectively using the Zillion ult and the perfectly timed intervention right there to stall out long enough to allow their team to make these crazy, extended, elongated engagements that they end up winning.
Yeah, and Clearlove, the man in the jungle, you're right, he is a 5th man here. He's just been such a huge part of this. He's been cleaning up the kills. He has amazing kill participation. We've mentioned before, he has the highest in the LPL. Well, right now, it's 7 out of 8 kills that he has been involved in. That is absolutely absurd, and they have no answer to this. Now, he does have a lot of gold in his pocket compared to the rest of the team, but they're okay with this. Now, LGD looking to chase down a dragon. They will get it 3 for 3 on the game. Can they take a fight as well, though? Koro is low. FCZF initiating one. Wayless trying to zone people out with his tomb. However, they are going low right now, and Clearlove is around the side. Name is getting his Cole on, and he gets himself at least 1 kill. No, it's you that does it. Wayless being chased down. They get him with the piercing light. Name going up big, and the solar flare does not connect, but you gets himself another kill as well. Chuan and PYL on the run. Can they get away? They've only got a second tier to fall back to. I don't know if they can do it. Bombs are flying left and right. PYL doesn't hit it in time. That's going to be 2 more kills. They get the ace, and they take down everybody. An LGD only losing Clearlove. Rosk, the team fighting. The team fighting from EDG. Oh, man.
Fun fact, speaking of team fighting, look at that chrono shift. Is that still up? Says Clearlove. Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. That could have been... No, well, it could have been a clean ace without Clearlove dying. He was effectively on top of him, but he misjudged the burst damage that took out Clearlove there, so that was pretty cute. And effectively, on the other side, a mechanical misstep. PYL, pressure got to him. If he had hit that flame, you know he's hit it every single time in lane, but the important one that he needed to hit just slightly missed time, so...
Yeah, EDG though, man, how about that revenge tactic? They took the dragon, so he took their lives.
See hero, kill hero. The chase was crazy, and again, the movement speed comps, the fact that you have the Kale speed up, the Zillion speed up, the relentless pursuit on top of the Evelyn, like, the fact that, again, these towers are getting pushed down so early, like, this is when Chinese teams thrive. They love to chase you down. They love to bring all of these tools and all of this high mobility just to run you off the map.
Maybe that's why they like picking up Zillion, because he's got Lucian, because he's got an ability called Relentless Pursuit. They like Zillion too.
It's very much about being self-sufficient, because you have to think that there's also a very heavy focus on diving the back line and killing that AD carry and getting back there.
They're just going to go in on XQ. Valkyrie immediately away, but they're going to chase him down all darn day. XQ getting pulled to safety by the Lantern, but can he get out in time? He's going to get a bomb on the head of XQ, and that's going to be one more kill. Yu says, "Thank you very much, get the kill on me." Oh wait, I'm invincible. They're going to be getting in, getting out. Chrono Shift popped, but they still managed to get themselves 2 kills. Chuen is also down, and LGD is running scared from this 5-man of Edward Gaming.
And I think that fight illustrated it perfectly. They dive that AD carry no matter what. They will find him. And again, it's so important for Chinese AD carries to have a self-sufficient champion. I mean, Kog'Maw has been a big pick, but hasn't found a lot of success on many of the marksmen. Name, one of the few that has been able to pull that out. I think Wei Xiao as well. So, you know, like the 2 utmost standards of AD carry proficiency from the region, finding success on that champion, but not a lot elsewhere.
Yeah, and that, it speaks volumes about Edward Gaming's confidence in this. You know what else speaks volumes? Specifically book volumes? The Zillion Magi's.
Magi's happens in LPL.
It does. He's also, it's very appropriate.
Yeah, because you have to think how well it works with him. Of course, he gets to have those free stacks anytime he speeds someone up, or anytime any of his abilities affect anyone. He's going to get a free stack should they contribute in a kill. And then it's also very hard for him to lose his stacks because he gets to play with his Chrono Shift.
Once again, he misses. BYL has not been hitting these plays in time, and FCZF is going to be able to help Name pick him off. Yeah, talking about kills and assists, Zillion, he's got 4, 1, and 4 right now, so that's a pretty solid level. And he's actually just been sitting on the tier. He hasn't had to turn that into anything. Still contributing a lot.
The thing about EDG, though, right now is that they're not turning these kills and these picks and these winning team fights really into any sort of structural objective or map pressure objective. It looks like they are trying to finally hammer down this tower as they position to dive it.
Oh, they're going to get a teleport in. Here we go with the dive on. Chuan is going to go low. XQ is going to go down, and Koro joining the party. They are able to get the 5-man collapse on. Now they turn up the heat. The tower is going to fall down. Can they do more? This is a pretty big push squad. And without Chuen and XQ, some anti-siege, some counter-engage is gone here, Frost.
It's good night, Sweet Prince,
it's
for LGD.
An inhibitor.
Their comp is going to outscale at this point, specifically just in the Kayle, really.
Well, I mean, Kale's a late game monster just as much as Jax is as well, and they never allowed 17 to get onto his feet at all, and now he's going to try to split push this out. He's doing a pretty good job of it right now.
He's trading fairly well for this, though, but Koro made sure that he got the appropriately timed back. Yeah, he's not going to get it. Or if he does, he'll trade his life for it.
Yeah, no, he's not even going to chance it. Trying to get the leap strike out. Now the Kale's on the chase. Koro, oh, he burns a flash, too. And that's pretty much the illustration of the game.
He's running to PYL. Can PYL get... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Can he get there in time? Will the Lantern...
You know it's bad when Jax just flashes preemptively to get away from a Kale.
Well, he was afraid of the red buff.
However, they do get a collapse on. Koro did not expect that. He gets his ult on, and Name's coming in just in time. Superhero mode engage, and now it gets turned around again. 17 going down. Koro answers right on back, and EDG takes the incentive to go in for the kill. That's going to be yet another pickup. Wayless is in trouble. He tries to answer on Koro. He gets it. Wayless is going down, though. The bomb explodes, and they trade 2 for 1, 3 for 1. They think about Baron, and then they think, we don't even need it.
Is this old EDG or is this new EDG walking away from Baron?
It's new old EDG. Or is it old new?
It's new old.
Oh, XQ. Alright, that's fine. We'll just turn to Chuan. Okay, that's fine. We'll just go mid. They are running the map right now.
See if Chuan can make the pick from the side.
Nice dodge out for Name, actually. That's the fancy footwork we expect. They won't get the tower. But still, with the way that they're winning these team fights, it just does seem a matter of time, regardless of what they take on an individual one.
They're also doing a very nice job. You know, they found a ton of success on the bot side, although it looks like there may be a bit of a desperation Baron from LGD. It is spotted out by some wards. See what they do now that they know that it's warded. They should just back off here.
Just try to get a little bit more vision in here.
They're not that crazy.
Oh, they are that crazy.
They are.
Okay, never mind. Welcome to the LPL, guys, where the Barons are often, and the throws
I mean, this is kind of the Hail Mary play.
Yeah, they don't have much of a choice. Now they're already at a disadvantage here. The kickback on Clearlove is the desperation attempt to execute. He tries to get away with the Valk over the wall. However, they're chasing on everywhere. They're trying to back in time. PYL gets Solar Flare, doesn't get a chance for the play. His health bar just evaporates, and now they turn around on an XQ as well. One more shot will do it. Clearlove getting the kill. Wayless trying to bait out one more attempt at a kill. He might get Clearlove here. He's locked up. He's down. However, it's just 1 for 2, and Name could chase him down at this point. He's got nowhere to go. They know exactly where he is, and Name says, I will take you on any day of the week. Although he gets a little bit of help from his friend Yu. Chrono Shift coming on in, getting himself another kill. 1 for 3 so far, and now they're in a great position to take the Baron themselves if they even want it. Looks like they are going to just try to go. Oh, hey, Frost, you're back. Hello.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, yeah, what's up?
No, I wanted to...
LPL.
You may be in the middle of your play-by-play here as Koro just hammers away at them, but this is...
Yeah, oh, 17. That was a poor choice. He decided he could take the Lantern to safety, and he was denied. Another tower, another kill in the pockets of Edward Gaming. This is turned into a stomp.
Well, this is what we talked about in Champions Select. The #1 issue is that they don't have any disengage. Yu's just going to Chrono Shift himself.
No, he's fine. He'll take it. I mean, even when they get caught, they have such an insurance policy. However, they might get one more again. He isn't still going to go down. They're still pushing on this tower. Koro getting kicked back. He's okay with it. He does die. Now Name's in trouble. This might be the turnaround, the start of one, but it's a 2 for 2 so far. This is so difficult. And they have super minions pushing on the bottom right now. LGD desperately fighting to stay alive, but they barely managed to hang on to that. Now they're going to lose a turret into the Nexus.
Well, the issue is that even though they made those picks there, A, they lost the Nexus tower. That's huge. But B, they can't... They're so deep on their map. It's not like they can transition this into any sort of power. They can't look for the Baron. Clearlove's still up. They don't have the level advantage for the Smite. I mean, I guess they have the Lissandra Spectral Wraith and you know, the Lee Sin, but do they want to risk that?
Kind of hard to tell. Oh, man.
That's level 13 Smite versus level 11.
Yeah, there's such a differential at 26 minutes right now that it's difficult for them to really do much of anything. And EDG is just going to be able to walk all over the map and take whatever they want.
That's effectively what's been going on this entire time. And again, there's no disengage from LGD. They can't do anything. As soon as LGD, now that this map is incredibly open, LGD can't go anywhere safely because if they are caught, they're pretty much done for. EDG is just going to run them off the road.
I mean, they're going to keep trying. They're not a team to give up, but it's a 10,000 gold differential. It's an EDG that excels at team fighting that's been allowed to hit a huge stride. It's a 9-3 Kayle. I mean, there are so many reasons why EDG has this game in the bag right now. Nothing short of a miracle will pull LGD out of this one. I think they're just going to try and play it out and think about their next game, because that will be their last shot at the winner's bracket.
Well, think of, not just like, you know, the 9-3, but look at the assists across the board from EDG.
Oh, it's massive. I mean, they team fight. This is what we always say about them. Everything they do together. There's never just one or two of them. You can't ever count on a catch. LGD, oh, Xuan, oh no! He's going to get jumped in on there. He will get the safeguard off. So they disengage that
teleport,
but that was playing with my heart. Koro, he is going to get the split push on with that teleport. Well, he doesn't need it, actually. Hello. It's 4v5. Hey guys, let's scatter. Let's buy some time.
Is this worth, you know, picking up 2 pink wards and sacrificing your inhibitor?
They don't know what to do. Even if they got a 4-man here, this is going to be really difficult. And at this point, EDG might even be able to take this fight. They don't have anyone backing. They're trying right now. They have Chuen going back. They also have 17. He just gets back. The tower's going to fall. They're running for their lives. Koro gets himself the last Nexus turret. Chuen and 17 are here at the scene, but now it's a 4v3 over at Baron Pit, and he's going to teleport up to make it a 5v3. This is the trap. They're going in for it. They get the Solar Flare. They're not going to connect to the Zenith Blade, but when the teleport comes in, they can't cancel it. 17 is low. Oh my goodness, Koro going forward on it. This fight is really sloppy by EDG, but they're still going to be able to take it. Wayless gets himself completely knocked down. Gets a lot of burst for his damage as well, though. They do answer onto Clearlove. Chuen is in the back. They're going to be able to chase this out. It's a 1-2 for 2. They're still going to be able to take even more of a fight, though, if they want. It's still not as bad as it could be, but Frost, this game, they can't make any mistakes, and they've just lost 3 members for 2. I think this is it.
Very sloppy fight from both sides right there, but it effectively is going to be game right here. You have Jax and you have Thresh. Jax 1, 5, and 4. Here he goes.
He's gonna try. Nope. Try it again. That's gonna be GG. The Nexus has fallen way too fast. Edward Gaming is going to take game number 2 in the LPL Summer Playoffs, and LGD has a little soul searching to do if they want to answer back into this. They will need to win 3 in a row.
It is game, set, and match, and we talk about kind of the respect that EDG has throughout their competitive scene. You know, when you ask there was actually an interview recently from LGD, PYL, and XQ, and they were asked, you know, who do you think is the strongest team right now in LPL? And it's EDG, the respect that they have for the team and the recognition and their ability to team fight. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Even when they have a messy team fight, they're somehow able to pull it out. So,
yeah, EDG, yeah, even when they don't have the most optimal play in those team fights, they still have a better shot at it. I was actually very unimpressed by PYL's Thresh that game. It seemed like, I don't know, nerves got to him. He didn't hit enough of the flays, and that speaks a lot to the confidence of FCZF's Leona, which really set up a lot of the picks that they got.
Leona is always going to be a huge pick for China. Again, putting all of your engage tools on a champion, allowing someone like FCZF, your shot caller, to be the one that can command. We're going to fight here and now. You know, with the flash tippers, with the long range solar flares. So, and it's definitely paying off for them. They're much more cohesive as a unit than we've seen in their last few weeks of LPL. They're firing on all cylinders, and this is the EDG that, you know, everyone was wondering, you know, where did they go? What happened? Why did Clearlove suddenly stall out? Because when they are firing on all cylinders and they are cohesive as a unit, they're proving that they are the best team in China.
Yeah, and making a huge statement for it at 2-0 today. That was a pretty massive performance, and something that is very different from what we saw in the regular play. A lot of teams pulling out these different picks, pulling out these different levels of play, and it makes you wonder how seriously do they take the very end of the regular season when a lot of the playoff spots are already locked in.
I can guarantee you that there's some trolling that happens, especially when, like you said, a lot of the slots are locked in right there. But we will be going to a short break. I think this is Pyra's line, though.
Yeah, well, normally you pulled it off very well. You guys will be back in just a little bit. Until then, enjoy the off time.
想看 EDG 赢，所以你之前不是支持皇族吗？现在支持 EDG，
可以支持很多队。
哦，对，说的也是，同时支持很多战队嘛。今天也要恭喜一下我身边这位观众获得我们现场的第一份奖品。那奖品呢，也请我们的 coser 来展示一下。 我们往旁边站一下，给我们 coser 留一下位置。美丽的疯女捧来的就是我们今天的第一份奖品，来自天窝提供的价值100元的天窝大礼盒1份，送上我们的奖品，恭喜她！你看